Hi everyone, hope you all are doing well. Today we are off on an exciting day trip to three amazing spots, starting with the ancient Bhoga Nandishwari temple, then Nandi Hills for beautiful sunset, and finally Adiyogi Shiva statue for stunning light and sound show. It's about 110-kilometer drive from our starting point Marathal. Welcome to the first stop, the Bhoga Nandishwari temple. Located in serene Nandi village of Karnataka's Chikkaballapur district. This temple is protected monument under the Archaeological Survey of India and is one of the oldest examples of stunning Dravidian architecture. Dating back to 9th or 10th centuries, historians like George Michel tell us that Queen Ratnavali from the Bana kingdom commissioned its construction. Imagine this, 5 different dynasties contributed to building this magnificent temple over centuries. You can actually see the influence of each kingdom in sculptures. Nolambas, Gangas, Cholas, Hoysalas, and finally Vijayanagar Empire. But none of them imposed their style over the others. Isn't that amazing? It's like these dynasties honored the temple's legacy by contributing without overshadowing. This temple complex is actually made up of 3 temples, each reflecting a different phase of Lord Shiva's life. The first one, Arunachaleshwar temple, symbolizes Shiva's childhood. Then we have the Uma Maheshwara temple, representing the family life of Shiva, which was built by the Hoysalas in the 12th century. And finally, the main temple, the Bhoga Nandeshwari temple, representing the youthful phase of Lord Shiva. It is here where numerous festivals are celebrated throughout the year. The Bhoga Nandeshwari temple was originally built during the Bana kingdom in 9th century, with further contribution by Cholas. The beautiful carved ceilings and the marriage hall known as Vivah Kaksh were added by Hoysalas. The outer walls, those were the work of Vijayanagara dynasty in 13th century. Isn't that fascinating how this temple has grown through the ages? And here's the rear view of the temple. From this angle, you would never guess that these are 3 different temples built by different kings across various time periods. The transition between the contributions are so seamless that unless you knew the history, it would be hard to tell who built what. The temple is perched at the foothills of Nandi Hills, and you can even spot the hills from the temple itself. But there's more. On the top of Nandi Hill is the Yoga Nandishwari temple, symbolizing Shiva's phase of renunciation. After exploring the temple, we made our way to Nandi Hills, hoping to catch the sunset. But on our way, we saw a forest fire. Quite a sad and unfortunate sight. As we reached Nandi Hills, our first stop here was Tipu's Drop, a place steeped in both beauty and dark history. The walk to Tipu's Drop is absolutely stunning. Lush greenery surrounds you, and the air feels so fresh and cool as you climb higher. It's hard to believe that such a peaceful place was once the site of such a grim practice. Tipu Sultan, the ruler of Mysore in 18th century, used this 2000-foot sheer cliff to execute his enemies and prisoners. Convicts were thrown off the edge, tumbling down to their death on the rocks below. It is said that Tipu Sultan would stand here watching their fall with a cruel sense of satisfaction. This cliff is named Tipu's Drop after him, and it's one of those places where history and nature come together in a way that makes you stop and think. Imagine standing where Tipu once stood, but now, instead of witnessing tragedy, you are met with breathtaking views of the rolling hills and valleys stretching as far as the eyes can see. From Tipu's Drop, we continued our climb up to the famous sunset point. The path gets a bit steep, but with every step, the view becomes more and more spectacular. Nandi Hills has become a favorite getaway since the time of the British, who found the cool weather perfect for summer retreats, and I can see why. It's hard to beat this kind of tranquility so close to Bangalore. As we reached the top, we were welcomed by a panoramic view that words can barely describe. The sun was beginning to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange, pink, and gold. The hills stretched out like a patchwork quilt, and for a moment everything felt perfectly still. We took our time here, clicking a few photos, sitting quietly, and just soaking in the beauty around us. It's moments like this that make the climb worth it. With the sun now set, it was time to head back to the parking area. But our adventure wasn't over yet. Our next and final stop is something I've been really excited about: the Adiyogi Shiva statue.